Good afternoon, everyone. It's David Schlotthauer here in the home weather office with another detailed severe weather forecast. As you already know, there is a slight risk for severe weather over Missouri, for Iowa, as well as Nebraska and Kansas for Wednesday. This goes from Wednesday morning through Thursday morning. But guess what? There is a much bigger risk of severe weather for Thursday. This is going to be the big day for tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds, all the way from Dallas, Texas, in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, into Iowa, as well as Illinois. And this is, again, driven by a big risk for severe weather. So when we do take a look at the European model over Kansas, there is that warm front linking up to that surface low. We have a dry line that's going to be in place, so the triple point is perfect. And this is going to be our trigger mechanism for individual discrete supercells that could pose a threat for really large hail, damaging winds, and maybe a tornado. And when we leapfrog 6 hours into the forecast into early Thursday morning, we do have these individual semi-discrete supercells, lots of clustering that's going to be taking place. And this is going to be, again, that threat of that triple point. We have drier air behind the dry line. We got moisture air coming up from the south. We got that warm front. We got the cold front. Everything is just going to come together to get these storms loaded. All right. And this is going to continue throughout the day Thursday, but it's really not until we get into Thursday afternoon when we have that more widespread risk for severe weather all the way from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, even into Austin, Texas, okay, into southeastern Oklahoma, into northwestern Arkansas, into Missouri, Illinois, northern Indiana, and maybe perhaps into Michigan, where that warm front does set up. We could have some severe weather up there as well. And then it continues all the way into Friday morning here, right around about 1 or 2 in the morning for Eastern Daylight Time over Arkansas, over Louisiana. We got Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee here, even the upper portion of the Midwest here, like the Ohio Valley, could get some severe weather too with these discrete supercells. But take note of this cooler air coming in on the backside. That's going to lead to some very steep mid-level lapse rates all across the Midwest to trigger a lot of these storms. And then by Friday afternoon, we could get another severe risk issued by the Storm Prediction Center down here for the extreme deep south and the southeast, but nothing like what we will be seeing on Thursday. And then by Friday afternoon, we could get another severe risk issued by the Storm Prediction Center down here for the extreme deep south and the southeast, but nothing like what we will be seeing on Thursday. So what's the culprit behind this severe weather setup on Thursday? Well, we have this trough of low pressure. You can definitely get an idea. The flow coming out of the northwest over the Pacific Northwest, then it wraps around on the base of the trough and comes out of the southwest over the Midwest. This helps to drag in moisture off the Gulf of Mexico, and this is going to be that risk. That's the ingredients coming together. We have the deep layer shear. We have the instability out there to work with. This is for Wednesday. And then when we get into Thursday, look at the instability. Anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 joules per kilogram. This is what we call thunderstorm juice. This is basically jet fuel for these thunderstorms to grow off of. Now, when we do take a look at our moisture feed here, this is for Wednesday, dew points in the 50s and 60s. And then when we go forward into, say, Thursday afternoon, we get upper 60s to lower 70 dew points. And that's a very moist atmosphere. You can think of the subtropics, even tropical in nature. So you're definitely going to be warm. It's going to be muggy. It's not going to be very good to be outside. It's going to be disgusting to do anything like barbecuing outside. Just not a good time to be out there. But if you're in Western Texas, it's going to be warm and it's going to be dry. And it's this moisture that is going to be the fertile ground for our severe weather setup, not only for Wednesday, but Thursday and even into Friday. You can also see why the instability is going to be very elevated with this severe weather setup is because we have an EML overspreading the moist warm sector. That's going to help to really steep it in mid-level lapse rates, which is a temperature change with height virtually. And when you get cold air above very moist and warm air at the surface, we get a lot of instability. The cap breaks and we can get some wild things going. So with that being said, there is a day 2 outlook for severe weather, a slight risk for Missouri, for portions there of Kansas, as well as the southernmost portion there of, say, Iowa, even so it's not listed here, as well as southeastern Nebraska. This is driven by a 5% chance for tornadoes right in the smack dab of Kansas City. where Tyler Bass used to live, by the way. So yes, Tyler, you're going to miss out on this, unfortunately. But if you're in Oklahoma, you're going to see a 2% risk for tornadoes. Now, there is a 15% significant for really large hailstones exceeding 2 inches in diameter over the Kansas City metro area, northern Missouri, as well as southeastern Nebraska and southern Iowa, with a 15% non-sig for damaging winds that could exceed 65 miles an hour. But you all want to know on Thursday, what is it looking like that day? Well, definitely a widespread risk that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, a slight risk that covers Illinois, as well as Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, portions there of Louisiana, and Texas. A lot of populated areas here, so definitely something to not mess with. And this is not just your ordinary slight risk. This is a 15 sig slight risk for severe weather. That means one of the parameters, either tornado, hail, or wind, will be significant on the day 2 outlook. And I'm almost thinking right now, I do see a significant risk maybe for tornadoes and some large hail stones out of this, maybe even some damaging winds, significant hazards as well with this. But it's not just for the severe weather, folks, that I care about. I'm also worried about how much rainfall will accumulate over these same areas that just got hit nearly a few days ago over the deep south. We're talking another round of really heavy rainfall, anywhere between 2 to 3 inches of rainfall over the Arklatex area as well as the Mislatex. This is pretty concerning, and it's concerning enough that the Weather Prediction Center has issued a slight risk for heavy rainfall and flooding for day 3. This includes for southern Missouri, for western Tennessee, as well as northwestern Mississippi, northern Louisiana, northeastern Texas, as well as southeastern Oklahoma. So if you're in these areas, please use caution as well, because there could be some small stream flooding, river flooding, street flooding. You don't want to be in this, okay? Turn around, don't drown if you all can, because my job here is to keep you all safe when I do make these videos, okay? Because this is definitely a hazard. Now, before I do end the video, I do have 5 important announcements to share with you all. As always, I've been mentioning this in my past few videos. I am going to be hosting a total solar eclipse live stream on Monday, April the 8th, 2024. It begins in my location at Kerrville, Texas at 12:15 p.m. We're going to be making the drive to Kerrville, Texas on April the 3rd. It's going to be a very exciting event. And not only that, I will be doing a Q&A live stream on April the 2nd about what my plans are for the solar eclipse. So I highly recommend you all joining that stream so that way your questions can be answered if you have any. And then, of course, my first Atlantic Hurricane Seasonal Outlook will be released on April the 15th. So on Monday, April the 15th, is when it will come out. And then my first routine tropical weather outlook will begin on May 25th, and it will run through November the 1st. But as always, you could also follow me here on Discord at Weather Force Today. There will be a link in the description below this video, along to go with my Twitter. But anyways, if you did enjoy today's detailed weather forecast on the severe weather coming up for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Hit the like button and share this video with your family and friends on social media. But be sure to check me out on Rumble, as well as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. But anyways, have a great rest of your Tuesday. I will be back in the home weather office with another detailed weather forecast tomorrow.